Greetings to you, MCZ family, and believers all over the world. We are blessed once again as a family of God to have come to that period and time when we, as Methodists, celebrate the Wesley tradition by observing a Wesley week. Today I am joined by Rev Dr Gondongwe, who is going to take us through this discussion as we are going to interact. Rev Dr Gondongwe, say, may you kindly greet the audience.
Greetings to you, family.
Thank you very much. Rev Dr Gondongwe is a Methodist minister. He is currently the principal at United Theological College, the former mission director of the Methodist Church in Zimbabwe. He is also a former lecturer of the Wesleyan studies at St. Makotini Methodist Seminary, former lecturer at the University of KwaZulu-Natal of World Religion. Of course, he is a PhD holder from KwaZulu-Natal. He serves in the following public entities currently: Zimbabwe Open University, the Zimbabwe Council of Churches, the Women's University, the Perinatal Group of hospitals. I can go on and on and on, but today we are blessed to have this man who is widely used even internationally, as he is a member of academic societies of the Oxford movement. He's also at the moment studying for LLB with the University of Zimbabwe. So the man comes with him a lot of experience, and we are blessed to have him. We are going to interact with him. Thank you very much. Reverend Dr. Gondongwe said, we have come to the period where we celebrate the Wesleyan week. I understand that every year, at the end of May, all Methodists all over the world, they do celebrate what they call the Wesley experience. What is the core of this experience?
Thank you very much, our evangelism coordinator, Reverend Maturi, and friends. It always excites me to talk about these things. And when we talk of the Wesley experience,
yes,
we can't talk about it devoid of his experience in America. People will need to understand that John Wesley himself was an Anglican minister. And at a time when the Anglicans were thinking about sending a chaplain to the new colony of Georgia, John Wesley volunteered together with others with a specific mandate to exercise ministry to the settlers. But on his way to Georgia, there was a shipwreck which almost broke his spirituality. In that ship were Moravians, women and children. Whereas these women and children were celebrating and singing praises in the context of death, John Wesley was trembling with fear. He wasn't sure about his destiny if the shipwreck was going to be fatal. And that experience for him lingered in his mind for many years to come. But even upon his arrival in America, he exercised ministry there, which was not very successful. Part of the problems in America were related to love relations. John Wesley entered into a love relationship with a woman called Sophie Hopkins. And that relationship was dangerous for his ministry. It hampered his prospects of success in America. And he had to leave America unceremoniously and under the cloud of investigation. Actually, there was a court case, a lawsuit from the relations of this woman. So when he came back to England, he was feeling so guilty. He felt that he was such a useless minister. He felt that his Christianity was fake. He was only a pretender, to the extent that he spent about 3 weeks without going to church. He consulted one of a very profound man, a Moravian called Peter Bowler, who told him, go and preach faith until you have it. It was only in that context that Wesley hesitantly walked down the Aldersgate Street, 1738, 24 May, at 8:45. When he joined this prayer session by the Moravians, who were praising God, discussing about grace, having fellowships and Bible study, and when he got there, he found them discussing about grace in the book of Romans, and he quickly joined in. But the results were that he felt his heart strangely warmed, and for the first time, he felt that he depended on God and God alone for his salvation. He did not fear death anymore. He reminisced his experience in the ship when the boat was about to sink, but when he got into this experience, he was a new person. Some would want to consider it as Wesley's conversion, but I wouldn't say it was his conversion. It was a religious experience. And this religious experience was a watershed in his life. It also became a springboard for world mission. Because it was only after this experience that Wesley would say, the world is my parish. became a springboard for world mission. Because it was only after this experience that Wesley would say, the world is my parish. Before that,
so
yes.
maybe just to interject, as you are bringing out this narration, is what then necessitated the birth of Methodism? Where did this actually begin now? Was it from the Aldous experience?
Very true. The birth of Methodism in England was fertilized by many points.
Okay.
The first thing is that the socio-political, economic conditions of England itself required that there be a movement for the poor, a movement that was inclusive, a movement that was going to be the conscience of the society. So the conditions themselves were very bad, to such an extent that the movement was needed. Secondly, in John Wesley's own words, Methodism was born. In other words, it was God's providence that we had Methodism to spread what we call scriptural holiness. In other words, there was so much evil in the society. The mother church, what we call the Anglican Church, had become the church of the elite, ignoring the poor people who worked in the mines in Liverpool and other places. He had no recourse whatsoever. And the churches had closed their doors for the poor. So Wesley and the Methodist movement were born to make Anglicans better.
Okay. So we thank you so much. So in a nutshell, how then do you describe, would you just add a bit more on what really necessitated the growth of Methodism in England, besides the issue of addressing the poor, bridging that gap as the church was now for the elite?
Yes, at the core of this growth, obviously, John Wesley sowed the seed, but God gave growth. So, at the center of this growth is God Himself. He's the one who gave growth. Vana Charles Wesley, vana John Wesley, vakadyara modzi, asi yakadiridzirwa nomweya mutsvene. Saka modzi ndiyo yakaita kuti iko vanhu vanotambura kwazvo, chirikadzi nevavo vose vanga vasina hope, vawane hope mupreaching ya John Wesley. Remember, historians now are agreed kuti iko ku France kwakaita revolution,
Right.
ku America kwakaita revolution. Dzimwe nzvimbo idzi dzakaita ma-revolution. Only England was spared of a revolution. And there is now agreement that England was spared of a revolution because of the preaching of the people called Methodists. So it's a worldwide accepted historical fact that the preaching of the Methodists averted a revolution in England. Hence your question, Yekutiko, why was it born? Perhaps one of the reasons to avert a revolution.
To avert a revolution. Thank you so much, Doc. Saka tirikuona kuti Methodist yakauya ikagadzirisa mamiriro anga akaita zvinhu in the social political realm of that time, and then it found fertile ground, it spread across England, it averted a revolution. Asi yakazofamba Methodist ichienda in other parts of the world, other continents. How then did it come to be in Africa?
Very critical question. John Wesley died 1791. So immediately after his death, there was a movement a whole enterprise by many mission centers to say, let's go out into the unknown world. You remember, overseas were regarded as unknown world because they didn't know what was happening beyond the seas. So Methodist was not an exception. So immediately after John Wesley's death, 1791, by 1795, Methodism was already in South Africa, Cape of the Good Hope. Of course, in other places such as Sierra Leone, Ghana, Liberia, also Methodist found its way through the enterprise of business people, through the liberated slaves, all those. But let's be specific about South Africa, because South Africa is our neighbor, and it also linked to Methodism in Zimbabwe. So in South Africa by 1795, a first stream of soldiers were stationed in Cape Town. And this stream of soldiers, amongst them, they were Methodist. And they said, we don't want to be just soldiers serving in this outpost. We also want to exercise our faith. So they asked for a certain building where they can meet as a fellowship, where they would meet and sing Methodist hymns, Amazing Grace, where they would meet and discuss and fellowship and have these classes. And it is this first stream of Methodism that casted the roots for this creed even deeper.
Even deeper.
The soldiers obviously were recalled, some were stationed into the West Indies. Then came the second stream of soldiers, they were also Methodists there. The third stream of soldiers, they were also Methodists there. But what is important, our coordinator, to note is that they only invited a minister called the Reverend Barnabas Shaw to come now and administer the sacraments, to baptize people, because the church was already spreading.
It was already spreading.
It was already spreading.
So meaning to say that the spread of Methodism had so much the hand of the laity.
It was, you are very right, it was entirely a lay enterprise.
It was a lay enterprise.
This as if to say evangelism belongs to the lay people.
To the lay people. Thank you so much. I like that one. I think from today, I'm going to press another button so that we really move and catch on with this spirit.
Yes.
Now when Reverend Shaw had come in and he was now administering sacraments, Methodism was spreading in Africa. What was the reception? How was it received? Before it came to Zimbabwe, maybe you would then join that with how then it came to Zimbabwe.
Thank you very much. In South Africa, Methodism was well received because of its tenets of egalitarianism, liberation, inclusivity. You remember these were raw African societies under chieftainship and under kings. You remember the atrocities by Shaka in South Africa and many others. So for them to receive a religion that talks about life in the context of death,
love, forgiveness,
all those attributes. So the Methodist expressions were well received in South Africa. And this is how the church spread across in South Africa, Transvaal, in many other provinces. And now, it was only after the district chairperson called Owen Watkins was asked now by Britain to say, why don't you cross over to the north?
To the north, to Mashonaland.
To Mashonaland. Why don't you cross over to the north of Limpopo? Because these are neighboring countries. And Owen Watkins, who happened to be the district chairperson stationed in Pietermaritzburg, was asked or was given that onerous task. Now in the company of a young missionary called Isaac Shimini, who had for a long time wanted to be a missionary, but he had not been accepted. At first, initially, he wanted to be a missionary in Goa, in India, where Gonzalo da Silveira had failed. But the Methodist house felt that he was unmarried and young, he could not make it in Goa. But when an opportunity came for him to cross over to Rhodesia, he was available. So these two, together with 10 evangelists, African teachers, we had converted into Methodism. You see, they left Pretoria around 4 p.m., crossing over to Zimbabwe. The journey was arduous. It was such a difficult experience. They knew that God was ahead of them. So, synodically, they moved from Pretoria, where they borrowed some bulwarks. Mazimombe, vakakumbira kumabhunu anga ari muSouth Africa vanga vari mamethodist. Vakasunga mombe idzodzo, vakapiwa nengoro, vakapiwa nemuchairi wengoro.
Mungarangarira here chiremba kuti akanga ari makore akaita seapi?
Yes. Pavanopinda muno, this is really an irony. Kutiko, this Methodist church had its foot in South Africa by 1795.
That's right.
But only almost 100 years later, that's when it's crossing over to Zimbabwe, then Southern Rhodesia. So it was exactly 1891. To be specific, in September, that the journey started to cross over to Zimbabwe. It was a difficult journey. Remember, Kutiko, Papa Neruzzi, Limpopo.
Yes.
By that time, Limpopo Raigara Rakazara Nemfuna. So they had to wait. Vachifunga kuti richaserera. Up until vakaona kutiko hakuna kwavari kuenda. So armed with their faith and their Bible, they decided just to plunge into the river. Mombe dzavanga vakasunga kunodzi dzakapinda murwizi imomo nokuti aitungamirira ng'ombe akabva ovuyawo mungoro nokuti could not continue in a flooded river. Opinda mungoro imomo dzichipinda mombe dzichiyambuka nemurwizi dzinonzi dzaitsvaga pangafamba ngoro zvakanaka dzichitevedza. At some point mombe dzose dzakanyura mvura kuchingoonekwa nyanga bedzi asi vakakrosa Limpopo vava mhiri vanonzi vakatarisa vakabvunzana kutiko tayambuka sei. Isaac Shimini akapindura akatiko muna vanhu venyu Mwari kudzodzose nguva nyangwe voyambuka nzizi vachiyambuka nzizi munova navo kunyangwe votsva nemoto munova navo. Vakatarisa vakati ivo tayambuka sei. They had no any other second explanation beside to say this is God. Vanhu vanonzi mamethodist vakayambuka Limpopo. Kwakune Reverend Maturi.
Yes.
Remember, we are talking about unmapped Africa. kwakune Reverend Maturi.
Yes.
Remember, we are talking about unmapped Africa.
Avasikuzi hapana nzira yakagadzirwa.
Hakuna nzira, hakuna anyone. Hakuna anyone. Vari kufamba nemusango, vaiti pavasvika, kana vasvika voisa fence. Kana vaisa fence, votema mashizha, mombe dzavo dzofura dzichidya imomo, dzovata dzichidya imomo, ivo kwira mumiti vozvisunga netambo. Kuti vasadonha mumiti noti kwakune maleopards, kwakanga kune shumba, zvaityisa.
These people actually seeded their lives.
They seeded their lives. They didn't consider their lives important in the face of seeding the gospel. They believed that they were going to be the seed that was going to water the garden of the gospel. So they didn't care about what was going to happen to them. At some point, actually, Isaac Shimini akaita 4 days. Vaperirwa neusavi zvikanzi chinda umbonotsvaga mhembwe nepfuti achibva arasika his way back. Then they thought perhaps wadyiwa neshumba, only to appear when they were living. Voto vakamirira for 4 days vachiti uchasvika vakaona pasina vakati taakuchienda. Then he appeared. And there is a theological explanation to that. That churches also at some point, they mustn't move too fast, leaving many others behind. We must be patient enough to wait for those who follow slowly.
That's really powerful. Vayambuka Limpopo. Vapinda mu Zimbabwe. It was then Rhodesia.
Yes.
How did they navigate their way? Kuti vazochipinda muno, kuti vachifamba, vasvika vakachitanga kuchiva nemakereke. How then did they begin to establish themselves in Zimbabwe?
It was a very strategic decision for them. They had reflected on the conditions in southern Rhodesia then. They knew how southern Rhodesia looked like. So strategically, when they crossed over to Fort Charter, that is Chivu, is to Salisbury, when they were so sure that they wanted to establish their head office in Salisbury. But it was also important for them to mark their existence in other places. So what they did is that they stationed the evangelist. So the first evangelist was stationed in Nenguo. Kana tichiti Nenguo tiri kutaura Wildlife nearea yose uko ndo yanga achibata mairi up to even kwana kwenda. It was under the influence of this evangelist. Wedza, Chiota, Chemanza, Mese ndo mavaka establisha kutiko kwane nguo uko vaizviziva kuti kwanga kuna chief, a very notorious chief akanga achibuda muma newspaper, muma reports ama native commissioners, kuti mamuna chief wakanga akaoma kwazvo, waizikana nenyaya dzekurodza vana vari under age, kurodza vana vari under age. Many other human rights as they are known today were violated. So they said, let's target Chief Nengu. Kana akangotendeuka iye bedzi, then he will influence his subjects. Saka kwakaiswa mvangeri wainzi Muleli. Wanga ari teacher ku South Africa, ari mutswana, achibva aenda ikoko, akashanda imomo Muleli zvikanzi basa rako ndere kutendeutsa Chief Nengu. Ipapo iye Muleli wanga ane imwe shamwari yake ainzi Bernard Muzeki. Weanglican, yes, iye weanglican uyu wanga ari muvhangeriwo achishanda ari kumutuzi usina zitawo, achishanda ari ikoko, saka vaiwirirana vachishanda vese chaizvo. Asi unfortunately they became victims first Chimurenga. Saka vakaurawa imomo. Actually we call him a martyr to benevolence. Nokuti iko iye pache zvake was safe. Saka kune murungu anonzi Mr. White. akapfurwa akatemwa namatemo navanhu akabayiwa namatemo, but Moleli ndobva amhanya kuenda kunomusunungura akamukwidza mungoro achitiko amuinde naye kunomurapisa. Maneighbors vakanga varipo navamwe vakati ari kubatsira murungu, ari kubatsirirei murungu, ndobva kwanzi mutengesi, ndobva naiye vamuuraya, vakamubata vakamuuraya. Mukadzi wake nevana vakaponera mumunda, vakatiza mumunda vachirarama namaniwa nechief for 3 days. But this is how he died. But ikoko kwane nguo ndezve kwane nguo, but kunonzi muEpworth munomuseru vakaisa svete zvakare muvhangeri, pakaiswa muvhangeri imomo. Saka muvhangeri wakaiswa imomo unonzira mushu, zvikanzi iwe paridza muEpworth, uparidzire chief chiremba waizikanwa nekushopera nemishonga nehakata. Ukangotendeutsa chief chiremba masubjects ake ese achatavirawo kumethodist. Today, Reverend Maturi, aya ndiri kutaura ma-strongholds eMethodist. Ndo ma-centers kati tichitaura nezveEpworth, tichitaura nezvenenguo, we are talking about wildlife. Iye watambotaura nezvake uyu tichiti Moleli, guva rake riri pawildlife, wakafa pawildlife. So kwazvimbawo kwakuna chief zvimba waizikanwa kwazvo. You know kutiko zvimba was known for resistance.
Ndiye Mateo Zvimba.
Mateo Zvimba wakatozopinda kuita mufundisi weMethodist, akabuda muchifundisi cheMethodist ofomawo chechi yake inonzi Shiri Chena, nekuti iko wanga achikomplaina kuti Methodist yakaramba kurecognize vana nehanda samaheroes of faith. Saka ndobva afoma a splinter group yanga ichicelebrate vana nehanda. Nanhasi chechi yake iriko kwaChikaka inonzi Shiri Chena chechi. But Zvimba wakaramba is the earliest expression of resistance to colonialism. Saka imomo mazvimba imomo makaiswa vanonzi James Under. James Under uyu muvhangeri uyu wakaparidza ikoko, tinomudaidza kuti iko a martyr to love. Because wakatopuwa warning yekunzi tiza uchaurawa, but akati ndofana vanhu vangu. Akabatwa ari mumba vakaita sei vakamuuraya. It was a gruesome painful death. Today guva raJames Under riri mudhamu rinonzi Trilon Darendere. Ipapo ndo paakavigwa ipapo. Wakafa asina mudzimai asina. He is kind of a forgotten hero of faith, but his pioneering spirit continues to inspire many. Hence the growth of the church in Zvimba. So this is how they spread across ma centers, ma mission centers. But ivo vasvika muno vadyara vavhangeri saizvozvo vakasvika vakati ngatiestablishei church kwakunzi kuMbare nhasi. Vakasvika vakaestablisha muSalisbury church. First service Reverend Maturi yanga ina vanhu 4. Asi Watkins anyora mudhari rake unonyora achitiko our first service was full of 4 people.
It had a crowd of 4 people.
It had a crowd of 4 people because for him, he was not living in the present, but he was living in the future. And today, Methodist Church is a crowd of people.
It's a crowd of people. Pakanga paine rutendo. Uyo achizadzikisa shoko rinoti kana pakatendeuka mumwe chete pane mururu.
Pane mururu.
Saka ndiyo here nguva imwe chete kunzvimbo dzamataura idzi yavaizovaka zvikoro. Tinonzwa kuti kune chipatara chakambovakwa izitkwenda pavakachiestablisha munomu. What were the actual establishments that we can say, the strides that they made having settled in here, vachitanga ku vanhu vakutendeuka nzvimbo dzavaienda.
You see, this saying atambotaura tichitiko God gave growth.
Yes.
You see, it's a truism.
Yeah.
Mamissionary asvika chokutanga chavanotiko we want to fight against was the demon of ignorance.
Okay.
The demon of ignorance.
The demon of demoni rekusaziva.
Mweya
wekusaziva.
Ngativake zvikoro as strategic mission centers. Imomo ndo mavaidzidzisa vana our father who art in heaven, baba vedu vari kudenga. Kana vana vadzokera kumba manheru vonotivo ngatite munamato waishe wedu. Vovadzidzisa munamato wekutenda chikafu. Kana vadzokera kumba ngatinamatei tisati tadya. Saka kwakavakwa kuenda kukavakwa Tekwani kumatebeleland, kukavakwa Pakami kuWildlife, pakavakwa inonzi Wildlife yakapiwa mari nemunhu Mr. Wildlife yavakadoneta kuti chikoro kuSandringham. Zvikoro zvakawanda maprimary nokuti ko mamissionary chimwe chinhu chavakaona ndechekuti ko the government was not giving a neutral education, vanga vachipa utility education yekuti iko ingodzidza bedzi kuti ugoshanda sahouse girl sagarden boy uchigona kutaura chirungu chekuti vanzwe zvavanoda nekuita basa ravanoita. Saka vanga vachingodzidzisa inonzi domestic science yekuti ugone kubika nokudi they were not giving education iri neutral yokuti iko uve a critical thinker.
Right.
So the church yakaziva kuti iko kuti tipenetrate faith inofanira kufambira necivilization.
Right.
Saka ngatiisei zvikoro zvatinopa independent education. Vadyara zvikoro. Vakatiwo zvakare kana vanhu vedu vari immersed in superstition. Hatigoni kuvaburitsa imomo. Ngatisei zvipatara modern hospitals. Vakavaka kwenda. Varegedze kurarama nezvirehwarehwa zvavanoudzwa kun'anga nechi vakatsvaga chiremba akatobva kuBritain anonzi iko Dr Osborne. Akanzi chiuya uite men kuenda hospital. Ari pakuenda hospital paya wairapa vanhu asi unonyorawo iye mudhara rake kuti dambudziko randakaita hanzi vaingouya kana vanyanyisa kurwara. Usually vazhinji vacho vanga vava the illness yava beyond redemption. Kana kuti vaiuya kana achingonzwa zvake kungoti andatemwa nemusoro chirwere chisiri threatening. Ndopa vaitekedza timbononzwa kutiko iye chiremba ukuru unoti kudi. Asi kana vaigwa namadambudziko vawirwa namadambudziko chaiwo vaita kun'anga. Saka ndo mahardships avakasangana nawo pakuenda. Saka Dr Osborne wakatozopedzisira oshandisa mamwe mawords epachipatara paya samaclassroom achiticha vanhu nokuti people would not really come at those early times. People were fully immersed in African dynamics.
Okay.